I'll never forget that night. It was past midnight. The streetlights flickered outside my suburban home, and silence blanketed the neighborhood like a suffocating shroud. I was half asleep, drifting between dreams, when 3 sharp knocks echoed through the hallway. They weren't the gentle taps of a neighbor borrowing sugar or the fumbling knocks of a drunk stranger. No, these were deliberate, cold, calculated. A rhythm that carried authority, as though the one behind the door believed they owned the very right to wake me. My heart raced, and something inside me whispered, "Don't open it." But curiosity is a dangerous thing. I crept to the door, each floorboard groaning beneath my weight, and peered through the peephole. What I saw froze my blood. Standing beneath the weak glow of my porch light was the HOA president, Mr. Harold Kent, dressed in a dark suit, his eyes unnervingly calm, a clipboard tucked beneath his arm. Who shows up at midnight with a clipboard? That's when I knew something was very, very wrong. "Open up," he said, his voice low but commanding, as though he'd been waiting for me all along. "We need to talk." I hesitated. No HOA business could be urgent enough for a midnight visit. Unless it wasn't business. Unless it was something far more sinister. Against my better judgment, I unlocked the door. "Do you know what time it is?" I whispered, my voice trembling. Harold stepped forward, close enough that the porch light etched shadows across his face. "Yes," he said flatly. "That's why I came now. No one else can hear." The air in my lungs seemed to vanish. Hear what? My mind raced with possibilities, none of them good. This wasn't about my lawn. It wasn't about trash bins. This was about something much darker, something the entire HOA had been hiding. He pushed his way inside before I could protest, his polished shoes clicking against the hardwood. He closed the door behind him and locked it from the inside. My stomach dropped. "We need to discuss your property," he said, dropping the clipboard on my dining table. Papers scattered, maps, deeds, photographs. I scanned them quickly, realizing they weren't just about my property. They were about the entire neighborhood. Every home, every family, every secret. "You've noticed it, haven't you?" he asked, his eyes narrowing. "The strange disappearances. The houses that suddenly go up for sale overnight. The neighbors who act like they've lived here forever, when you know for a fact they just moved in last month." My blood ran cold. I had noticed. But I never spoke about it. In this neighborhood, silence was survival. "What are you saying?" I asked. He leaned closer, his voice a whisper that felt more dangerous than a scream. "The HOA isn't what you think it is. It's a cover. And you—" He paused, studying me. "You're in danger." Danger? From what? From him? From the HOA? Or from something far bigger lurking beneath the surface of this perfect neighborhood? I wanted to throw him out, but before I could, he slid a photograph across the table. It was my house, taken from across the street, taken last night. My stomach churned. "Who took this?" I demanded. He didn't answer. Instead, he opened his briefcase and revealed something worse. A thick stack of violation letters, but none of them had ever been delivered. They were all addressed to me, each one escalating in tone, each one darker than the last. The final one wasn't even a violation. It was a threat. Comply or be removed. "What is this?" I asked, my voice cracking. "The truth," he replied coldly. "They're watching you, and they sent me here tonight because—" His sentence trailed off, and suddenly, the sound of a car door slamming outside shattered the silence. He froze. His eyes widened with fear, real fear. "They found us." Who found us? And why was the president of the HOA suddenly terrified in my living room? Headlights poured through my front window, sweeping across the walls like searchlights. Harold bolted to the curtains and peeked out. his face pale. "You need to trust me," he hissed. "If you want to survive, come with me now." I stared at him, my pulse thundering in my ears. Trust him? The same man who'd tormented neighbors with petty rules, who fined families for leaving their trash cans out too long? But his fear was too real to ignore. Against every instinct screaming at me to stay put, I grabbed my jacket. We slipped out the back door just as footsteps approached the front. In the distance, shadows moved between houses, too precise to be neighbors. Harold led me through alleys, past fences, until we reached the edge of the community where a chain-link gate loomed. He yanked it open with a hidden key. "You weren't supposed to know," he said breathlessly. "No homeowner ever makes it this far." No homeowner ever makes it this far. What was this place really hiding? As we ran, Harold finally explained. The HOA is a front. The houses, they're not just homes. They're experiments, testing grounds. Every rule, every fine, it's not about money. It's about control, conditioning, seeing how far people will bend before they break. I couldn't process it. My neighborhood, my quiet cul-de-sac, a human experiment. It sounded insane. But the fear in Harold's eyes told me it was real. Before I could question further, a spotlight cut through the trees. Voices shouted behind us. Harold shoved me down into the dirt. "Stay quiet," he whispered. "If they catch us, we're finished." The story continues with twists upon twists. They discover an underground facility hidden beneath a model home. Old homeowners' files reveal that many who vanished didn't move away. They were taken. Harold confesses he was once part of it, but he turned against them after seeing what happened to families who resisted. At one point, Harold betrays me, handing me over to the HOA enforcers to save himself, only to regret it and return in a shocking reversal. Every time I think I'm safe, a new revelation deepens the mystery. The final act builds to a town hall meeting staged by the HOA, where they reveal their ultimate plan, expanding the experiment beyond the neighborhood into the entire city. Just as they're about to erase my memory to silence me forever, Harold makes the ultimate sacrifice, turning the HOA's own surveillance system against them, exposing their crimes to every homeowner in real time. The last scene is haunting. The neighborhood looks peaceful again, children riding bikes, sprinklers watering lawns. But on my porch, another envelope waits. A single line typed in bold, "Round 2 begins soon." And just like that, the cycle threatens to start again.